You ever have one of those moments where you look at a totally ordinary thing, a pile of snow, let's say, and think, well, this is how it all falls apart? I do. Because that's exactly how the Meadowbrook Estates HOA ended up shelling out close to 100 grand, and how I, just a regular guy with a shovel and a stubborn streak, accidentally became the local folk hero. And if you're wondering, yes, I still get thank you cards. Wild, right? So picture this. It's a morning so cold my breath freezes in midair. Cedar Falls, Iowa, middle of January. The kind of day you question why humans decided to settle here in the first place. I drag myself out of bed, look out the window, and there it is. 2 feet of fresh powder covering every inch of my driveway. My car's basically a snow tomb. Now, I'm not trying to win any medals, but I do need to get to work. So I do what any halfway sane adult would do. I put on 3 pairs of socks, grab my old metal shovel, and go to war with the snow. Let me tell you, after an hour out there, my back is screaming like I'm auditioning for a life insurance commercial. My fingers useless even with gloves. I'm dreaming of nothing but a hot shower and maybe enough coffee to fill a bathtub. But I'm practical, right? So I pile the snow on my own front yard. Not the sidewalk, not the neighbors, just right there on my own brown dead grass. Out of the way, nothing wild, neat little rows of white. I figure it'll melt eventually, hopefully before July. That should have been the end of it. But no. I come home from my shift at the hardware store that night, and there's this orange envelope on my door, orange like a traffic cone, just in case I missed the message. I'm already getting that sinking feeling. 3 years living here, and I'd managed to stay off the HOA's radar, which is a minor miracle in itself. But my luck ran out. Inside the envelope, a violation notice. $300 for improper snow disposal, aesthetic disruption. I read it 3 times. I even laughed the first time, thinking it was a joke. I mean, who gets fined for putting snow on their own grass? Apparently me. So I call the number. The woman who answers, pure customer service joy. Meadowbrook Estates, HOA. This is Patricia. I give her my name. Try to keep it friendly. She doesn't care. Section 12, paragraph 8 must maintain aesthetic integrity. That's a direct quote. I say, but it's my lawn. She says, doesn't matter. All visible areas must maintain standards. Now, maybe you've dealt with HOAs before and you're already shaking your head. But if not, let me tell you, you haven't truly lived until someone tells you a snow pile on your own property is a threat to the neighborhood order. I ask her, where do you expect me to put it? And she hits me with, that's not the HOA's concern. Oh, and the best part, she hangs up on me. Just click. Nothing like a little public shaming to start your week, right? Next morning I'm fuming, but I'm also curious. I take a walk before work. And surprise, half the neighborhood has snow piles on their lawns. I take pictures. 8 houses minimum. I call back. Different person, but same attitude. They tell me if other properties are in violation, they need to be reported as well. Oh, and by the way, the president who reported me, same Patricia, who lives right next door. And that's when it clicks. Months earlier, she'd accused me of letting my non-existent dog do its business in her yard. I don't even own a dog. But she swore I'd regret lying to her. Turns out this was her version of karma. I paid the fine. Not because I thought I was wrong, but because the letter threatened a lien on my house. And then I did something that probably only the most stubborn people do. I read the HOA covenant. 73 pages of lawyer speak, but I got through it. The snow rule vague as hell. But there was a little nugget in there, section 41, about the HOA board needing to hold their own building to the same standards. That's when the gears started turning. Next snowstorm, I get creative. I build this long, neat berm along the far side of my yard, angled just so out of sight from the main road. It looks kind of like a snow fort for adults, 3 feet high, 20 feet long. It's not art, but it's solid. Sure enough, another orange envelope shows up, this time with a photo and a warning about deliberate structures. Another fine. Another promise that if I don't comply, I'll face escalating penalties. Well, fine. I pay, but I'm all in now. Every night after work, I go out with my shovel. It's freezing, but I keep building, extending, packing the snow. Here's where it gets fun. My yard sits a little higher than the street, and it naturally drains toward a ditch behind my property. But downhill from me, the HOA office. So, with a little hardware store ingenuity, some PVC pipe, and a drainage project cover story for my coworker Derek, I set up a system, let's call it advanced water management. I dig a trench, lay in the pipe, cover it all up. The main flow goes to the ditch, but a secret branch runs under the bushes, right to the window well of the HOA office's basement. That window well, old rusty frame all warped. Perfect. All I need now is a warm day. A couple days later, the thaw hits. I call in sick, stay home, watch the mercury creep up. By noon, everything's melting. I poke holes in my snow berm, open the valve, and then I drive around the block just to see. It's working. Water's pouring right into that window well, seeping through into the basement. I go home, eat dinner, sleep like a baby. Next morning, my buddy at work says the HOA parking lot's packed, emergency meeting. I'm not invited, but an envelope on my door tells me I'm expected at a mandatory board meeting Monday night. When I show up, the room is packed. People are upset. Patricia stands up there all blazer and bravado and announces the HOA office is flooded, records are destroyed, insurance isn't covering it, and we're all on the hook for $1,500 apiece. The crowd loses it. Someone asks, "How did this happen?" Board members stumble through excuses. Another homeowner, Janet, calls Patricia out on not maintaining the building. Patricia snaps. It's a mess. In the end, they vote on the assessment next meeting. People are fuming. Some start comparing notes on fines. Turns out, I'm not the only one on Patricia's hit list. Then comes the real circus. Patricia comes to my door, clipboard in hand, phone snapping pictures, accusing me of unauthorized drainage modifications. She demands an inspection immediately. I refuse. Covenant says 48 hours notice, homeowner must be present. She huffs off. That night, I go outside and yank out the valve cover. Everything makes sure my yard looks as boring as possible. A week later, formal inspection notice. She brings in a drainage consultant. Guy walks the yard, checks the slope, shrugs. Looks normal. Water drains to the ditch like everyone else. Patricia's furious, but she's got nothing. For the next 3 weeks, I get fined for everything. Grass too long in winter, mailbox, crooked door color, wrong stuff that's never been an issue. I document everything. Take photos, appeal each violation, all denied by Patricia herself. But the neighborhood's waking up. People are mad about the special assessment, mad about Patricia's attitude, and mad about the obvious favoritism. Janet and a couple others pull me aside after a meeting. She's targeting you. We've compared fines. Yours stack higher than anyone's. One guy, Robert, says he saw the whole dog incident. It was the Andersons' dog, not yours. Patricia just wanted to make an example. And then someone asks, what if you ran for board president? The election's 3 months away. Normally, no one bothers. Patricia runs unopposed, but people are fed up. Only catch, I'm not in good standing because of all those fines. So I appeal, send everything by certified mail, and when the other board members see my evidence, most of the fines get tossed. I pay the rest just to clear the books. I run for president. I'm not a politician, but people are desperate for change. I knock doors, explain my plans, clear finances, end the petty harassment, and no more special assessments unless absolutely necessary. Patricia's camp tries to paint me as a reckless radical. I counter by sharing my budget, showing I'm not a financial risk. And then with help from the board secretary, Amanda, I get access to the HOA records. That's when the real rot shows. Turns out Patricia's been paying her husband's management company tens of thousands from HOA funds. No votes, no real documentation, just vague consulting fees. The last special assessment never spent on landscaping like they claimed. I take it all to a lawyer, Grace Sharp as they come. She tells me win the election first, then go after her with the evidence. If you lose, she'll bury the records. Election day comes. It's a nail-biter. I'm shaking hands all day, answering questions, feeling my voice disappear. When Amanda calls Patricia and me in for the results, I swear my heart stops. But then she reads the numbers. Patricia, 112 votes. Me, 208. The room explodes. I won. Amanda hands me a binder keys and we start going through the files. We hire a forensic accountant. The findings nearly $100,000 embezzled over 6 years. Patricia used fake invoices, funneled money into her husband's account, and kept the records vague. Even the last special assessment, the one for the flooded basement, wasn't needed. Insurance paid for almost all of it. I call Grace. She tells me, go to the police. This is open and shut fraud. The cops agree. There's a full investigation. Patricia's arrested, charged with felony theft and embezzlement. She ends up pleading guilty, gets prison time, ordered to pay restitution. The HOA gets back a big chunk of the stolen money. And me, I return the unnecessary assessment to all the homeowners, $1,500 each. Gerald, Patricia's husband, divorces her, sells the house, tries to make things right. As for the HOA, I overhaul everything. All expenses over $1,000 need full board approval. Quarterly financial reports for everyone. An independent appeals panel for violations. And we rewrite the rulebook, no more vague aesthetic standards nonsense. The neighborhood changes. People show up to meetings, get involved. There's a sense of community again. Nobody's scared of orange envelopes or petty fines. I stepped down after 2 years. Mission accomplished. Now I just live here. Clear my driveway, throw the snow on my own lawn, and no one bats an eye. Funny thing is, if Patricia had just let that snow pile go, she probably could have kept her scam running for years. But she couldn't let it go. That dog, the snow, the grudge, it all added up to her undoing. Sometimes karma needs a little nudge. You know? Now every time it snows, I think back to that first fine. Would I do it all again? Yeah, I would. Because what started as one ridiculous fight over a pile of snow turned into a chance to clean house literally and figuratively. So if you're listening to this and you've ever felt powerless against people in charge, remember this, stand your ground, document everything, and don't be afraid to dig deeper. You might uncover more than you bargained for. And here's something I want to ask you, when does fighting back become worth it? Where's the line between letting things slide and demanding accountability? Ever had to go up against someone abusing their power? I'd love to hear how you handled it, what worked, what didn't, what you wish you'd done differently. After all, sometimes it's the smallest things, a pile of snow, a fine, a little pushback that end up changing everything. And you never know, you might just find yourself on the other side with a thank you card and a story no one believes is true.